Bama Dave with you here. I'm out on this Confederate cotton field. Well, actually, it's a Confederate peanut field this year. They've already pulled the peanuts off. It's as you can see, it's nice and flat, and there's no stubble this year or anything. So it's really a good place to come out here and hunt. It's nice and quiet. We don't ever have any issues out here. I'm trying a couple new things out today. First thing I'm trying out is this thing called the swing thing. I bought that because I have this giant 15-inch coil on here, and trying to get warm up before I go to Virginia, just to kind of get familiar with this setup and this coil. You know, as far as my settings go, they're probably what everybody else is using. I've got you know, DD, special, fixed GB. I think I'm running my gains at 7 and my stabilizers, you know, almost at 10. It's real stable. In deep, and you know, so pretty much the same kind of settings everybody else is using. I'm running sharp here. It's this is real sandy soil. There's no mineralization, so I'm running sharp, and I like that a lot. I'm just trying to get a feel for this coil. So far I've been thinking things were kind of larger targets than they are, and they've ended up being little tiny pieces of wire, so I'm having to get a little feel for this coil. But so far it's doing good. I like it. This swing thing is making it pretty easy to swing the coil. I don't know if y'all seen these on TV. Well, I got a piece of iron there, but it's you can really kind of just go and scrub it across the ground, and this takes the weight off of your shoulder. So I mean, I know I wouldn't be able to carry this thing for very long, so it's working good. Come back to you. Okay, my first good target, I think it's a good target of the day. It's I don't know, about 8 or 9 inches down. I thought this thing was on the surface, but it's in this clod right here. I'm not sure what never mind, I see it. It's a shotgun shell. Well, let's go ahead and get that. That happens. Boy, it sounded good. I thought, I've got a button here. I found a deep button out here last spring, but it sounded just like that, and well, we'll go ahead and take that. But man, that thing was screaming. So that's what I'm hoping this big coil is going to do. Really open this field back up to some deep stuff that's out here, because it's been plowed so many times that about once every 7 years they deep plow this and it just comes back to life. But I'm hoping this big coil is going to do that for me. So all right, we'll come back to you and get something else. I got a deep hole. It's right at the edge of the plow line, and I don't know if you can see this, but I got a fire pit. And what got me into this was this little tiny cuff button. It sounded great. I can't, it looks like it's going to be some sort of eagle, probably a general service. Looks like a kepi button. It's so small. But man, that thing sounded great. And it's right down at the edge of the plow line. So I'm going to open this up and see if there's anything else up in here. So we'll come back to you if you find anything else. Got this pile of dirt here. You can see all these big chunks of charcoal that came out of it. And there's nothing in there other than that one button. That's what got me in there. But that's the first one I found in this field, and I never would have found it without the GPX, because we've been hunting this place for 10 years. So that don't make you a believer. Ain't nothing will. A little tiny, I mean, kepi sized button sounded like it was on the surface, and it was about, I don't know, probably about at least 12 inches down, if not a little more, and got me right in below the plow line, and I started seeing charcoal and following it. Now I'm, heck, right to my knee down in this hole. I've been chasing this charcoal until it kind of petered out. But heck, that's exciting. Just to, you never know what you might find down there. Something might be preserved below the plow. So hey, that's a good find. We'll take it and keep going. Okay, here's this button a little bit cleaned up. I got excited when I saw this star on it, but I think it's just some sort of floral pattern. But there is some gold shining through, so I think it's going to clean up really nice. And you can see how tiny it is, and that got me into this big old hole. So we know there was Confederates out here, so I'm assuming that's probably off of a somebody's uniform, clothes they brought from home. But either way, it's a good find. I like finding two-piece buttons out here. They're not pretty hard to come by. So thank you for watching. Okay, so just a few feet later, I got another good signal. I'll see if you can hear this. That sounds like a bullet to me if I ever heard one. So And I haven't dug that many, but that sounds like everything I ever watched on YouTube and the few that I've found. So let's see what we can get here. I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, with that little pile of dirt about 15 feet away is where that last fire pit is, and I'm about 2 rows over, and I just got into another one. And you can see this ash layer right here, and I've got something iron. I don't know if it's a horseshoe or what it is. I'm hoping it's like a bayonet or a gun or something. I don't know. It's probably a horseshoe though, showing down below this burn layer. So I'm going to dig this out and see what I've got. So this is kind of exciting. I mean, a place that's been dead for 10 years and then to start getting into stuff again, even if it's not all that great, it's still exciting. You know, where these guys were sitting around the campfires, you know, wondering about when they were going to go home or if they were ever going to get home. And I imagine probably a lot of these guys didn't, because they were on their way up to Shiloh. But we'll come back to you if we got anything good. Okay, well, I got this shoe out of there. It looks like, I don't know if that's a mule shoe or a horseshoe that's just really warped, but hey, that's the first complete one I've gotten out of here, so that's pretty cool. We'll come back to you and get something else. Okay, well, we didn't find that much today. I was out here for a couple hours, but there's football games on this afternoon, so we're going to go watch some of those. But that 15-inch coil definitely will put you down there below the plow line. I found 2 fire pits in this field, and I mean, I've been hunting out here for 10 years and never found a fire pit, and I found 2 of them in less than 2 hours. The bad thing is there's not a lot in them. I got that one little cuff button out of one, and then I got a complete horseshoe out of the other. So I mean, it's still kind of cool to find something you never found before, but I wish there was stuff in there. But it does give me confidence in that coil and in this machine, you know, getting a little more familiar with it, that if there's something there, it'll find it. So anyway, appreciate you watching. We'll come back to you next time.